Hey, guess what? It's time for Making Kayfabe with your hosts, Bryce and Dylan.
Hello and welcome to the Making Zombie podcast, a podcast about zombies. I'm a zombie. I'm joined by my co-host who's also a zombie, and today we're going to bring you the latest in zombie action. Zombie, zombie, zombie.
Rawr. That's the son of a zombie?
Son of a zombie. I've just got the wrong fucking show. God damn it. Welcome to Making
Oh.
Kayfabe. This is a podcast where two writers, not zombies, take a look at wrestling's biggest missed opportunities and try to rebook them in a way that makes sense. This week we're covering what is quite a highly requested topic from our listeners, which is rebooking the famous or infamous A Season 8 faction from TNA. I'm going to talk all about their background and tell you what TNA could have done differently to make their story all the more interesting. Anyway, I'm Bryce. I've got my friend Dylan here, and since we're talking about Dylan, how about we find just out how he's doing today? So Dylan, how the hell are you doing today?
I'm not too bad, man. I just want to say, just want to clarify something real quick. So you're not a zombie.
No.
And I'm, or at least you think I'm not a zombie as well. No. Yes, that's okay.
Yes.
Just clear in the air, just making sure.
Sure.
Cool. Anyway, I'm good. I'm great.
Cool.
Yeah. Relatively speaking. How are you? You're definitely not a zombie. How are you? You must be pretty good now that you're not a zombie.
Yeah, I've not had a craving for brains all day, man. So I'm feeling great.
You lucky bastard! I've been all day hankering. I mean, so anyway.
I mean, let's be honest. That was you pre-zombie, if anything. So.
Oh yeah, dude. They're just delicious. I mean, it's the way you cook them.
And nutritious. Like people don't understand how nutritious brains are. They are really nutritious.
Really good. Yeah.
Full of knowledge. Yeah.
They're just healthy for you. You know. I don't want to advocate people eating brains here, but I'm just saying, give it a try. You never know.
Don't knock it until you've tried it.
Exactly. That's if we here Making Kayfabe can impart any little wisdom on your lives at all, please make it definitely make it this one where we tell you to go out and try the taste of human brains.
Yeah.
You might like it.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying. Let us know what you think of it.
Make sure you tweet us at Making Kayfabe with your results. We're getting in trouble here. Let's not.
There's like a disclaimer.
Don't do that.
Please, disclaimer. Please, the Making Kayfabe boys do not advocate people eating other people's brains.
Definitely
Wink,
not.
wink.
Definitely not. Of course we don't.
We don't. Don't do it, okay?
What the fuck are we doing? This is our.
Oops.
This is our first ever rebooking of something from TNA. Like, how familiar with TNA are you?
Like dribs and drabs, man. I paid attention to it for a while. I didn't really like what do you call him, Jeff Jarrett. So the early days of TNA,
Nobody does.
Like it. No, well, somebody does, and I'm not a big fan. So I didn't really pay attention whenever he was like dominating the heavyweight championship. It was so funny because like on one channel it's Triple H is heavyweight champion forever, and then the other company is Jeff Jarrett is champion forever. And you're like, this sucks. I don't want any of them to be the champion.
Yeah.
But there was a while I started paying attention when Bobby Roode was getting really big and stuff, and I watched for a while.
2006, 2007.
I think so. It was when Challenge were putting Impact on TV.
Ah, yeah. I remember that.
And I would watch it because I'm like, it's on TV. You know, this I may as well watch it. It's right there. So I watched it pretty much up until they stopped doing that, which I don't remember when that was, but it had started to get not so good by that point.
Did you watch much of the A Season 8 stuff?
I did. I gotta say, I was impressed with that for the most part. I did like it. The problem with it was it had a little bit of the NWO syndrome where they didn't know what the end was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, like as we'll see, too many members, which was an NWO problem as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I can see why that would come out of the mind of like Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. But again, like it worked. You know, it was an interesting angle that did seem to work for a bit in TNA. And they were using the right...
It worked, and then they're doing the exact same thing. That's the problem.
Well, that's it. It worked, and they were using the right people, and you're like, all right, this is okay. And then at some point, it went on too long, and they weren't using the right people, and the storylines didn't make any sense anymore. And you're like, all right, you went on a couple of months too long. They should have had a clearer image of how to end it, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. It's a bit of a kind of you'll see in the catch up, but it kind of it was a shambles when it fell apart and then just ended because it had to kind of thing because so many things are going wrong. But yeah, so we are booking aces and eights today, and like I say, we're going to take you into a bit of history about the faction as well as the kind of rebooking itself. But first, the Kayfabe community have been quite vocal about aces and eights. They really are a polarizing faction, and everyone's got something to say about them. So let's read out some of their comments right now. So who we got? We got the all-star Chris Johnson at VS the Janitor. He says, this is a good one. For me, the whole angle was made worth it when Bully Ray unmasks Devon and the crowd start chanting, "This is awkward." Own brother, mate, awkward, you know. Like.
Yeah, he's like, who's this guy?
Yeah. Connor from Wrestling with Fiction podcast at Connor the Cooper says, I don't know what to think. It started out with a lot of intrigue, but aside from Bully Ray becoming world champion, I feel the faction lacked members that felt distinct from one another. The group had over 60 members, and I can really only remember 6. It had so much potential. Yeah.
Whoa, bop.
Yeah.
60?
16.
I thought you said 60. I'm like, what the fuck?
That'll be too much. Yeah.
Right. You're like, that's the whole company. Here's Billy. He works in accounting. You know, he's part of the group.
It's like your fucking Retribution storyline, yeah. Everyone's a member of Retribution.
Everybody's a member.
We're actually gonna touch on something like that later. Trust me, because there were so many members in Aces and Eights who were just kind of pointless reveals, so to speak. So yeah. Our next one, Cecil Martin at MAOC Dong. He says something similar. He says, Aces and Eights was actually a great idea as it brought Bully Ray up to the main event level. The problem was that instead of having Bully, Devon, and maybe one other well-known name, they loaded it with known talent instead of new guys. If you add in a couple less known guys, or even just some newer talent that is actually exciting, and use it to build them up as well, then you have a whole host of new exciting players for at least the next couple of years. So, yeah, much like Connor's point from earlier, the group just got too busy with the 60 members, you know. Seems to be the kind of popular opinion, I suppose, about just having too many damn members in the faction, you know?
60 is too many.
60 is too many.
It's silly.
Even 16 is too many. Like that is.
Yeah,
like,
16 is but there was more. NWO had more than 16, right?
Well, definitely at some point, but when it was getting oversaturated and just no one knew what the fuck was going on, right?
Yeah, but it had the classic members: Virgil.
I was thinking Virgil, yeah, like fucking yeah, Brutus the Barber, yeah.
Oh, what was he called though? He was like the disciple or the Zodiac or something.
Zodiac, and he's like, yes,
is that him?
No, yes, no, yeah.
God, what a shitty person. Anyway, I don't know why I called him a shitty like shitty gimmicks. Yeah, I don't know why. I've never met him. I'm sure he's a lovely man. That guy
sucks. Yeah.
Fuck that guy and everything he's done in his life. Anyway.
Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know much about what's his name. So you know, Brutus
what's his name? We've already forgotten his name. He's really good. He's really good.
Moving on from what's his name. So thank you. I tell you whose names we do know, and that's everyone else who left a comment on our Twitter and Instagram pages. That's Thomas Bada. It's the Sweet Chinwag podcast. It's Dan, the Ginger Noob, Flash Jimenez, William Marcel, Chris Bellis, Danny, and Dean Andrews. Thank you to you guys for sharing your thoughts too. We unfortunately can't fit in every single comment in the episode. We'll just be here for hours. But yeah, appreciate you giving your thoughts on Aces and Eights. You guys rock. If you want to shout out on the show, just check out our social media when we announce episodes. Usually on Wednesdays at Making Kayfabe on Twitter and Instagram.
What if we did a whole episode where we did have time to read out everybody's comments and we're just reading comments of it? So that's the whole show. Yeah. just get the Kayfabers to do their work for us, yeah. Yeah, no, but we're reading them out. I mean, that's pretty hard, you know.
That is true. Yeah, it's harder than it looks. Yeah, harder
we make it look easy.
Yeah, we do. Speaking of easy, this isn't a segue at all, but how about
go with it. You can do it.
Speaking of easy, you know what would be really easy right now, and that is if I read out what I've got written down for the catch-up in Aces and Eights.
Because writing it was so easy for you, because you're a pro. Yeah, but writing it was easy.
Yes.
I think we got there. I think we did it.
Yeah, we got there. We nailed it. We nailed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No one's going to notice. It's fine. Let's go into a catch up in Aces and Eights. So here it is, a catch up on what went down with Aces and Eights. By the way, first fact, they're named after the dead man's hand in poker. Yeah. Don't know what that means. I don't play poker, but there you go. Some of you might know what that is, so there you go. If you're completely new and out of the loop with all things TNA, then the best way I can describe Aces and Eights is like the NWO with motorcycles. Obviously, we all know who the NWO are.
And we all know what motorcycles are. Oh, you did it too!
Motorcycles are a two-wheeled motor vehicle invented in 1895. So there you go. So yeah, knowledge.
We're still on track. I like how we both were like, we're gonna do the motorcycle bit. I'm like, there you go. That's how you know we're a good quality podcast.
That's chemistry right there. Yeah. Anyway, Aces and Eights. So they started on a June 14th, 2012 episode of Impact. And on the show, you've got Sting in the ring, who's talking about his induction to the TNA Hall of Fame when, oh my god, he's attacked from behind by 3 masked men. And they lay Sting out, and that's the end of the show. So that's the first time we see Aces and Eights. We don't know they're called Aces and Eights yet. That's just the first time we see a glimpse of them. By the way, other than Sting, there are 8 more inductees in the TNA Hall of Fame. And Dylan, I've got a question for you. How many can you name in 30 seconds? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so you got Sting, you got Kurt Angle, you got Bubba Ray and D-Von, the Dudley Boys.
Yep.
You got a different Sting. You got Gail Kim. You've got, did I say Kurt Angle? Did I say a different Sting?
Yes.
Oh.
You did say a different Sting, yes.
Jeff Jarrett.
Yep.
Abyss.
Yeah, wow, you're doing really good. You've got 10 seconds. 2 more.
Oh, Garrett Bischoff.
Oh, fuck off.
Jim Storm. Bobby Roode.
Disqualified. Dude, you got most of them. You missed 2 out. You missed out Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The first champion, and he's back there these days, I think. And weirdly, get this, Errol Hebner.
Oh, I don't like that.
There you go.
Not at all. Oh, I feel dirty now. Why didn't they put the other Sting in? Is that what he said?
Why didn't choose upper Sting? Yeah.
Joker's Sting was fun.
Joker's Sting was fun.
I like Joker's Sting.
Sting's one guy. That's the problem.
Or not in WCW. Yeah, that's a whole other kettle of fish. But that's what Bryce is going to be doing next week. He's going to be doing the other Sting from WCW. Anyway. Talking about Aces and Eights. Oh, I did it. So I got, what, 8 out of 10? What are they?
You got 6 out of 8. So
6. Yeah. Well, that's close enough to 8 out of 10 or whatever I said.
It's pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so after the attack, a Twitter account at the Aces and Eights, the number 8s, opens up. Hilariously, they couldn't get the handle at Aces and Eights because that handle was taken by some dude who has one tweet from 2009 about his Xbox being broken. That's why they couldn't have it. But anyway, this Twitter account would start sending cryptic tweets about Sting and Hulk Hogan. And this is Hogan era TNA, by the way, so fucking strap in. On the July 5th edition of Impact, Hulk Hogan gets handed a note by some random dude saying, "See you next week," which is very scary. Next week, they ambush Hulk Hogan in his office and attack Sting from behind again in greater numbers. So now that Hogan and Sting are taken care of, they just start attacking anybody on the roster. Faces, heels, even Samuel Shaw.
The best one.
Mm-hmm. And this is where the whole, who's the leader rumor starts, because it's a group and they're all wearing masks, so nobody knows who is who. The first rumored leader was James Storm, which was figured out after the Twitter account subtly tweeted, "A storm is coming," and then a picture of a cowboy hat.
Jesus Christ. Why didn't they just tweet out, like, Jim Storm's in the group?
Exactly, literally.
Tune in on Wednesday,
What does it mean? But it turns out he wasn't the leader, though.
I love the idea of them being like, which cowboy wrestler that works for TNA might be involved with Aces and Eights? You have no possible idea, but this guy likes to drink a beer, if you know what I'm talking about. But it could be anybody. Who knows? Tune into TNA. It's gonna be one hell of a ride, Jim Storm.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant.
Did he just tweet a picture of his fucking face?
Yeah, who can it be? Who's this guy? Yeah,
yeah. Who's this?
He's like fucking the tag team champion or something. Like, yeah, who's this guy?
I'd love it if the fucking TNA Twitter just broke down. Like, who are these people? What's this guy's name?
What's this dude with the fucking white and black face paint? Who the fuck is this guy?
What is this belt for?
You don't call it a belt, pal.
Who is this man calling me pal?
So it's very obvious it's James Storm, but he wasn't the leader. So Aces and Eight, they beat him down as well. So Aces and Eights, they just kept causing mayhem for months and months, beating down members of the TNA roster, and they've still not been unmasked, so nobody knows who everyone is. At the end of September, Hulk Hogan places TNA on lockdown.
Oh, everybody loves that, yeah.
Yeah, they had no idea it would cause such shudders 8 years later, but they brought in police officers to ensure everyone's safety from Aces and Eights. Mm-hmm. Anyway, on the same episode, Aces and Eights abduct Hogan and Sting, throwing him into the back of a van. So
lift him.
Excellent job from our boys in blue.
Yeah, they just grab him like one of those little like claw machines. They just like, and they just picks up Hogan and like drops him into the van. And the security guys are like, "Oh, nothing we could do. We're on the ground. We're not in the air with a claw machine. Sorry, nothing we could do about it."
Oh, I'm just picturing a wrestler vending machine now.
Oh, that's a good one.
They take Hogan to the Aces and Eights clubhouse, where the leader of Aces and Eights, with his back turned to Hogan and Sting, challenges him to a 2-on-2 match, aka a tag team match, which ends up in two members of Aces and Eights versus Sting and Bully Ray. If Aces and Eights win, they get full access to the Impact Zone, and what do you know? Aces and Eights win. So after the match, Hogan comes down to the ring and there's a big brawl with Hogan, Sting, and Bully Ray eventually getting the better of Aces and Eights. And even better, they managed to unmask one of their guys, and it turns out to be Brother Devon, aka Devon Dudley. His brother, Bully Ray, looks on from the corner of the ring after the brawl, absolutely shocked. As Chris mentioned earlier, the fans are chanting, "This is awkward." So, hell of a moment. But
it was awkward because, remember, they're not really brothers.
Yeah.
Remember the Spike Dudley episode?
Of course, yeah, that's right. They're not real brothers.
So it was really awkward to like, "Oh, you again?"
Yeah, exactly. Like we just talked about you like 6 episodes ago. Yeah, exactly. So Aces and Eights now have complete access to the Impact Zone, and they've got one man to thank for sticking it to that old bastard Hulk Hogan, and that's Devon. And they toast him for his efforts, and Devon cuts a promo saying that Aces and Eights have had his back since day one. Not quite sure it's really day one, Devon, but okay. He shoots some Bubba, crucifying him for putting Devon's son through a table on a recent episode of Impact.
Hey, it had to be done. All right?
A legitimate gripe, if you ask me.
No. That kid was mouthing off. Bully Ray did what he had to do. All right. Dude, it's the only way kids learn. You gotta, if a kid's mouthing off, put him through a fucking table, right? I mean, it's the Dudley way. But like Devon can't at all be surprised that Bubba Ray put somebody through it. Like, what? You put somebody through a table? And of all the people, yeah, I couldn't believe it from you, Bubba Ray Dudley.
Of all people, yeah.
Well, it's caught me by surprise,
I don't know, man. If you put my son through a table, I'd be pretty pissed at you.
I am totally going to put your son through a table. Yeah. That is a promise, right? Podcast people, hold me to this promise. If Bryce ever has a child, I'm putting that kid through a table.
Yeah, and I'll be very pissed off at you. So, that's how it works.
Yep, and then we'll all forget about it.
That would probably lead to me starting a faction called Aces and Eights, and then just running roughshod on you, basically.
Yeah, your kid's going to be pretty pissed, but I'm like, whatever. I put you through a table. I broke your back. Anyway. I'm bigger than you, kid.
But yeah, it's fucking barely. But...
that's true. Your kid's going to be like 7 foot tall.
Yep. Devon only gets a chance to shoot at Bubba though, because he gets interrupted by bona fide legends of the wrestling business, which is Sting, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Garrett Bischoff.
Wait, hang on, no.
Bona fide legends.
AJ Styles, what the hell?
He's not a legend.
You think AJ Styles is a legend?
He's got nothing on Garrett Bischoff, dude.
You see, I told you.
Sting cuts a promo on Aces and Eights, based on the stipulation that they now have free reign, and then he leads the TNA roster to the ring to brawl with Aces and Eights. So Devon Dudley versus Sting is scheduled for later that night. In a backstage segment, Bully Ray wonders out loud why Devon did what he did. Dude, you put his fucking kid through a table. Is it your memory or your ears aren't working? Because, you know, that's a legitimate gripe, as we said. So
I love the idea of him just walking around backstage, like verbal, just like you're walking around with a cup of coffee, like, I wonder why my brother was in the bad group. I just can't figure it out. You know, like
he's still picking like shards of the table out of his shirt and stuff. Like,
yeah,
what could it be?
I can't figure it out. He's patting his son on the head.
Anyway, Devon versus Sting happens, and Sting wins via DQ after Aces and Eights attack him during the match. And to end that episode of Impact, Bully Ray comes down swinging a baseball bat, chasing away Aces and Eights, and that's that. And remember this particular part of the story, because we're going to come back to that. There's a reason I put the most detail into that part. But of course, we'd be here for hours if we went through the full history of Aces and Eights, because quite a fucking lot happened here. But I'll quickly jump through a brief history of where Aces and Eights went after this. So, but first of all, it's time to play a game of Was This Person in Aces and Eights?
Do.
Yeah, exactly.
Person in Aces and Eights. I can't think of a good theme tune. Yeah.
I'll stick something jazzy on the background. Don't worry.
Cool. So don't have me singing at all. Please do not keep that in.
I will definitely cut that part out.
Good. And don't joke about this either. Don't make this a bit for the show where you don't cut it out. Definitely cut it out.
Dude, would I do that to you?
No, you wouldn't. You're a very trustworthy person.
Very
so
trustworthy.
Therefore, I believe you when you're gonna cut it out.
Anyway, now that Dylan's had a little sing along, so Dylan, I've got 5 names, and I'm going to need you to guess on whether these names were in Aces and Eights.
Okay.
So here comes the first one. Taz.
Yes.
Okay. Here comes the second one.
Here it comes.
D'Lo Brown.
Yes. I remember D'Lo Brown was definitely in it.
Here comes the third one.
Okay.
Leva Bates.
Oh, that's a curveball. Oh, well, I mean, there was 60 members. So.
She's got to be one of them.
Leva Bates. Oh, man. Was she? I'm going to say... But she's such a random one to bring up if she was. I'm going to say, yeah, she was.
Okay. Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz? Why on earth would he be in it? But again, that's so specific. I'm going to say yes.
And the final one is Luke Gallows.
Oh, he was in it, yeah. Oh, they're all in it.
They're all in it, yeah. You got 5 for 5, yeah.
Yes! Vindication.
Yep. Taz, D'Lo Brown, Leva Bates, Tito Ortiz, and Luke Gallows. So there you go.
Fuck's Tito Ortiz being there for? Like,
he was there for like 3 weeks. They were planning to do this kind of worked MMA fight, I'm pretty sure, against, I think it was Rampage Jackson, if that's his name. But they both left the company after like 3 weeks, as I said, so it didn't happen. But yeah, that's
terrible.
And Leva Bates, believe it or not, was the reason that Hogan and Sting got abducted by Aces and Eights. She was distracting them. So there you go.
And that's all she did.
Yeah, literally. That was it. Never saw her again. So
damn it.
She was a one-time member.
Why does nobody use this girl?
Yeah. Well, she's on AEW.
She's on their YouTube show.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Like, I think she's actually got a job there. I think she's actually got a full-time job there as like a.
But that's like saying the WWE. Why aren't you guys using Eric Young? Like, he's on main event. You're like, fuck that. That doesn't count.
That's true. That is true. She deserves better, actually. She's very good.
Good.
But for the rest of the catch-up in Aces and Eights, so more members start getting revealed, like Luke Gallows, Mr. Anderson, Mike Knox. They start using their official weapon, the ball peen hammer, to destroy people left, right, and centre. And
they start using their official weapon, a machine gun, and it's just ruined everybody.
It's really
Nobody
effective.
stood in their way.
Really effective, yeah. Why don't people just use that?
Why don't people use a machine gun?
Exactly, like, it's mental. Why use a fucking hammer? But by the way, a really good point is made by the it's a channel called Wrestling with Regret that I watch every now and then. Aces and Eights used their hammer like a real hammer. and not like Triple H, like putting his fucking hand over the sledgehammer and jabbing it rather than swinging it, So, like a hammer. So, yeah, they actually used it like a hammer. It's fucking, some of the clips I watched were brutal. It's actual, like, looks like legit brutal. So, anyway, Bully Ray gets into a serious relationship with Brooke Hogan, failed pop singer and daughter of Hulk Hogan, to the disgust. Yeah, I mean, name me your favorite Brooke Hogan song.
My favorite Brooke Hogan song is.
Just you typing in the background.
My favorite Brooke Hogan song.
Even Google doesn't know.
My favorite Brooke Hogan song is "I Love My Daddy," Hulk Hogan. And it has 4,000 streams on Spotify. So that's like more than my band has.
How does that go?
You gotta Google it and find out for yourself. I don't want to spoil the surprise. You're gonna love that song, actually.
Surprise.
Yeah, there's a little sneaky fun bit at the end that I think you're gonna really enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't know what this means. Go on to the next bit.
Like listening to November Rain for the first time and you get surprised when it starts up again, Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Brooke Hogan's song is exactly like November Rain.
Yes. So Bully Ray proposes to Brooke and she says yes. On the January 17th, 2013 edition of Impact, the wedding happens live, and we all know wrestling weddings always go well. So I guess there's nothing else to talk about here.
Let's move on.
Oh, actually, Taz reveals himself to be a member of Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights come to the ring and beat the whole wedding up. Taz was the Impact commentator at the time, so, I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, having a pure commentator there to big up the evil faction makes sense. But
it does make sense. It's a really cool angle,
Yeah, definitely. Soon, Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff, there he is again.
Hall of Famer Garrett Bischoff.
Hall of Famer, fucking wrestling legend Garrett Bischoff. Mm-hmm. Kurt Angle becomes a victim of Aces and Eights, and because he discovers the identity of an Aces and Eights, quote, vice president, unquote, which
president?
Yeah. Which was D'Lo Brown, who kicks Kurt in the dick, and the Making Kayfabe favourite.
I'll show you, boy.
Yeah. In March 2013, at Lockdown, the pay-per-view this time,
no, they really love that word.
Yeah, they've got big babyface Bully Ray, Hulk Hogan's son-in-law, going up against Jeff Hardy for the Impact World title. Aces and Eights get involved in the match because wrestling cages never truly keep anyone out, and it looks like Bully and Jeff are going to team up to fight Aces and Eights, but oh no! Bully Ray turns on Jeff, attacking him from behind with a ball-peen hammer. Bully pins Jeff, wins the Impact World title, and reveals himself as the president of Aces and Eights. And this is after him feuding with Aces and Eights for months. Being one of the main aggressors towards Aces and Eights, leading the fight against them all this time. Don't get me wrong, I dig the Bully Ray character, but this made no fucking sense to me. Bully he explains getting his ass kicked consistently by Aces and Eights by saying, I took a couple of good shots for the team. But, it was all part of the plan. And he used Hulk and Brooke Hogan to get himself a shot at the TNA title. I'm aggressively shrugging my shoulders right now, by the way. It was a cool reveal, but, it was nice for TNA to pay off a long storyline with a genuine swerve, but I don't know, man. It didn't make any sense to me.
You don't think it's a great idea for one guy to be like, all right, here, get other wrestlers in this group. I have a really good idea for how we can take down this company, all right? But I don't want them to suspect it's me. So you guys do most of the work, and I'll make it look like I'm fighting you, all right? So you guys hit me in the head with a hammer a bunch of times, all right?
Yeah.
Just knock me for the angle. Just hit me on the head with a hammer, and
just
then
a couple of times. Yeah.
Nobody will suspect that I'm on your team because you hit me in the head with a hammer. Nobody would willingly tell you to hit me in the head with a hammer. I'd be insane. But for the gimmick, definitely hit me in the head with a hammer. And the guys are like, is he insane? Does he want us to hit him with a hammer?
Is he being real?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Bully Ray, are you okay? He's like, just nothing a hammer hit won't fix.
Yeah, I'm sure he's had worse. He's probably had a few headshots in his time. Unfortunately, after that, the storyline started to really break down. D'Lo Brown and Luke Gallows soon left TNA. They tried and failed to recruit AJ Styles, but don't worry, they got the next best thing, Tito Ortiz. This led to Kurt Angle and Sting reforming the main event Mafia.
Oh.
Not Tito Ortiz, by the way. Tito Ortiz didn't lead to the formation of the main event Mafia. Aces and Eights did. And that had Nick Magnus there, had Samoa Joe, Rampage Jackson. So during the feud, Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson left the company after a few weeks. Kurt Angle left to go to rehab for alcohol abuse, and then Bully Ray lost his TNA title to Chris Sabin, of all people, who had nothing to do with the main event Mafia or Aces and Eights. Then Devon left the company. Bully won the title back from Sabin, started dating Brooke Tessemacher, to spite Brooke Hogan, I guess, because they've got the same name. Brooke 2 was brought into the group, which led to Aces and Eights becoming resentful, thinking she was poisoning Bully's mind or something. Hogan demanded that Bully Ray defend his title against a member of his own group, which turns out to be Mr. Anderson. And there we go. Keep that running gag going. Mr. Anderson and Bully Ray wrestled with the stipulation that if Bully Ray lost, Aces and Eights would have to disband. And what do you know? Bully Ray lost. Aces and Eights disband after 17 months.
And that was it.
That's Aces and Eights. That's the story. TLDR version of the story. So overall, decent angle, lots of mystery surrounding it with a big reveal, and a kind of disappointing downfall. So
yeah, I agree. Like, I loved the stuff with Bully Ray or Bubba Ray, whatever you want to call him, because Bubba Ray's always been a really good talker. Like, that guy, I think he's kind of underrated because he's a great shit talker. People, do you know what's really funny? I've seen people, whenever he was doing his TNA stuff, like there was like fan footage that people would capture on their phones of him just calling people like horrible things, right? And they're like, look at Bubba Ray, isn't he like a homophobe or isn't he a racist or whatever? I'm like, I can't believe that Bubba Ray is still kayfabing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, you idiots. Like, look how sexist he is. I'm like, you fucking idiots. It's a wrestling show and he's the bad guy. It just so happens he's really good at it.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, there's a line. He should be nicer. I'm like, you idiots. He's working you.
There's that classic video of the ECW arena where he's like in ECW, he's like riling up the fans, and there's people like generally coming to the ring to fucking fight him because he's like riling them up so much. Like, but Bully Ray is
it was
underappreciated.
Exactly. It was great to finally see him like, and he could do it. He did a really good job of that. But you could tell that there was no end point because, like you said, I remember the Chris Sabin bit. And that was a totally different story where he had just come back from injury. I think he had come back from 2 injuries, right? And he was like, that was his redemption story. So they clearly rushed that part of the story. They wanted a feel-good moment for Sabin, but they didn't have, that wasn't the end goal. So and that's why his title run is so short, because it was only supposed to just be a feel-good moment. There was no other plan for that. So they put the belt back on Bully Ray, and you're like, that feels like a loss. That's a very Hulk Hogan and NWO-esque kind of thing to do. Like, that burned a lot of the momentum off it, you know?
Yeah.
Because that wasn't the right guy to lose the belt, and they bungled it.
Exactly. It's weird to see that in the record books, but that's gonna how it went down. Could have been good. And you know what? I'm just gonna fucking prove it. I'm gonna prove it can be good. So, should we jump into a little bit of fantasy booking for Aces and Eights?
Let's do it.
We're gonna take things back to Devon being revealed as the first member of Aces and Eights. So you remember from the catch-up, Devon's shooting on Bully Ray, his brother. He's chastising Bully Ray for attacking Devon's son, and just right away, that's one of TNA's best moves in this story, which is why it's sticking. So the best villains are the ones that you can empathise with. So it's Devon in the ring, surrounded by his buddies in Aces and Eights, and Devon's going to offer Bully Ray a chance at redemption. So he says that if Bully Ray joins Aces and Eights, then all will be forgiven. You know, just join the group, and the violence against your own nephew, it will just be forgiven. All right? And he's interrupted, not by Bully Ray, but by Sting. And I mean, only Sting, it's fucking Sting. Sting doesn't need backed up by Garrett Bischoff. So, you know, he's going to come out.
He has a machine gun.
He's singing a machine gun. He's going to come out onto the ramp and he's going to tell Devon that Bully Ray has been given the night off. because he was given the night off and he refused because he wants to kick Devon's ass. So Bully Ray has sort of been forced to stay at home this week so he can process what happened with his brother being revealed as a member of Aces and Eights. And Sting says that Bully Ray ain't going to kick Devon's ass tonight, but he will. So it's Sting versus Devon in the main event of Impact. And so Impact rolls on. And by the way, a quick sidebar, I always liked going back and seeing kind of what was actually on these shows that were rebooking in real life, just to kind of get a sense of the landscape. And this is a good one, actually. So on this very show, you had a triple threat match between Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels.
Whoa, hello.
What a fucking great match that would be, right?
I'd watch it. Yeah,
hell yeah. So anyway, main event is Sting versus Devon. In real life, it ended in a DQ with Aces and Eights attacking Sting. However, in this story, it will end in a DQ, but it's because Bully Ray interferes to kick the living shit out of Devon. And I'm imagining that you see Bully Ray like drive into the arena, get out of his car, and just fucking march down to the ring with that pissed off expression on his face, just make him like the biggest baby face. And like he'll get involved in the match, attack Devon, but won't last long because Aces and Eights are going to hit the ring to defend Devon. And before you know it, there's just a big fuck-off mass brawl between the members of the roster and Aces and Eights. And the show ends there. And next week, Devon's back on the mic with his buddies Aces and Eights guarding him in the ring. You know, he wasn't done last week when Sting interrupted him. You know, he has more to say about why he, quote, turned his back, unquote, on TNA. Because in Devon's mind, it was justified. He says about Bully Ray, you know, my brother, I'll address you shortly. You're not the same as the men I'm about to address. And then he moves on to Sting, talking about how Sting is the icon. Devon says that he was an icon once. In fact, screw it, he still is an icon. So why should he be treated any differently from Sting? The only difference between Devon and Sting is that Devon chose to leave a dying company, whereas Sting went down with the ship like an idiot, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So Devon is not happy that Sting is regarded as more important than him, and he's going to elaborate on that in a second as he turns his attention to Hulk Hogan. So big Hulk Hogan, the big boss of TNA. Hulk Hogan was in charge of Devon's contract renewal talks. What did Hulk Hogan do to try and retain brother Devon? Fucking nothing. Less than nothing. Because Hulk Hogan did offer Devon a chance to re-sign, but Devon would have to take a wage cut for that to happen. So, no doubt so that Hulk Hogan can line his own pockets further and maybe give the rest to Sting. Who knows?
Well, Hogan needed a new boat.
Yeah, he did need a new boat, exactly.
So, well, like
these other three were getting, you know, just not.
They were dirty. He can't snort cocaine off a dirty boat, Bryce.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but
clean that. Yeah.
You can, but it doesn't taste the same.
Hmm.
It's just there's nothing like the taste of cocaine off a new boat. You know what I mean?
Nothing like it.
Well, you know what I mean. Of course, you know what I mean.
Fucking yeah, every week, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Always buy new boats just for the cocaine. Yeah. Wild.
That's me.
Well, you make a lot of money from business, as we know. Business Bryce.
That's a business, Bryce. Snorting cocaine off boats. Yeah, yep. New boats. Right.
New boats, very important.
But by the way, that sort of plays in real life as well. Not the cocaine, the whole.
Yeah, Hogan having 4 boats. Yeah.
It plays in real life too, because in the September 3rd, 2012 Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer comments on Team 3D's contract renewal talks. Meltzer's basically speculating that Bully Ray would probably be re-signed, but Devon's looking unlikely. And in the September 17th, 2012 Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer would basically confirm that Devon had left the company, speculating that Devon was one of the higher paid guys who wasn't being used as a headliner. Apparently, again in real life, because I also got this from the Wrestling Observer, Hulk Hogan on Twitter was asked about Devon being let go, and he replied to the fan who asked the question and said, "I'm all over it. Devon is too valuable to ever let him slip away. Huge screw up on somebody's part." And then he quickly deleted that tweet. And
yeah, wonder he screwed it up.
Yeah, exactly. But you bet your ass this is going to play into the storyline. So Devon is going to quiz Hulk Hogan about that tweet. You know, huge screw up on someone's part, huh? You know, huge screw up on your part, Hulk. You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted me gone, and well, I guess you got your wish. I'm gone from TNA, but I'm back with Aces and Eights. And he ends the promo by addressing Bully Ray, saying that he forgives him for his attack last week and that the offer to join Aces and Eights is still open. So there you go. Devon's pissed off at TNA and he's aggressively trying to recruit his brother to Aces and Eights. So next week, Sting is going to reply to Devon. And he's going to confront Devon in the ring, just the two of them, and he's going to crucially, he's going to refer to Devon as the leader of Aces and Eights. And Devon, he's going to shoot that down immediately. So Devon's going to mention that there is no leader in Aces and Eights. And he'll say, we are showing what can be achieved when a group of people with similar mindsets work together seamlessly, rather than obeying what some fat cat tells them to do. You know, kind of like how, all of a sudden, you've become Hogan's bitch.
Ooh, he said the bitch word.
That's it. He said the B word.
The bitch word.
What's the bitch word? Bitch? Okay.
It's a bitch, yeah.
And Sting, he's not taking that. He's no bitch. So he and Devon are going to brawl.
Too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That is until once again Aces and Eights come out, and so do the roster, and it's another mass brawl. However, Big Hulk Hogan comes out and he declares at the next pay-per-view, Turning Point on November 11th, he wants someone to shut Devon up for good. So he books Sting versus Devon 2 for Turning Point, and the show ends. By the way, important sidebar to keep in mind here, Bully Ray is having a hard time. You know, he's angry at his brother for joining that group of thugs, but he's angry at himself for Devon's reasoning, which was Bully losing control and powerbombing his son through a table. You know, he's conflicted, he's depressed, he doesn't quite know what to do. So, and who's there to comfort him other than everybody's favourite reality TV star, Brooke Hogan? See, maybe there's a blossoming romance there. You know, maybe that's going to develop in the background over the next while.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Does maybe it makes sense? I don't know. We'll see.
And then the next week, Bubba Ray Dudley threw Brooke Hogan off his boat.
Yeah, off his new boat. Yeah. The 9th annual TNA Turning Point pay-per-view rolls around, and it's Sting versus brother Devon. And you know what? To give some credibility for this feud that we're going to be building, Devon's going to win. And of course, he's going to do it with help from Aces and Eights and the infamous ball peen hammer. But regardless, Devon defeats Sting live on pay-per-view. Possibly the biggest singles win of Devon's career. So, you know, good for Devon. Mm-hmm. And after the match, there's going to be a big beatdown on Sting. However, this time it's different because the TNA roster, fucking Garrett Bischoff and friends, they can't save him. And that's because, to everyone's surprise, Aces and Eights, they've been recruiting. You know, they've grown in numbers, so suddenly there's enough masked Aces and Eights members that they can prevent the TNA roster from getting to the ring to save Sting. So poor Sting is just getting his ass kicked. You know, nobody can get through to rescue him. Sting suffers a few more ball peen hammer shots from fucking mecha heel Devon before Aces and Eights leave. Sting lies in the middle of the ring, bloodied, battered, as medical personnel eventually are allowed access to the ring to attend to him. Turning Point rolls on, and that's the last we'll see of Aces and Eights tonight. And by the way, let me just make a very quick point here. So, you might have noticed that there's something I'm actively avoiding here that I think TNA did a bit of overkill with, and clearly so did the Kayfabe community, but we're not going to rush the big reveals of Aces and Eights members in this booking, because I'm just being honest here, it means fucking nothing when it's not a big reveal. I mean, I'm saying this with the greatest respect, I really am, but who's ever said, oh my god, it's Mike Knox, what an amazing surprise?
Me?
Be honest.
You know, whenever you open your door and to get your pizza, and then you get the pizza and you're like, oh my god, the pizza guy's Mike Knox. What the hell of a surprise, you know?
But inside the wrestling ring.
Oh yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
So, fair play, fair enough.
Yeah, he's not that much of an established name. It's a problem. I'm not trying to diss on like Mike Knox, but you know, he's not an established name. But that's not the reason it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea because he doesn't really have a big role to play in Aces and Eights, so he doesn't have much merit when it comes to the big reveals. Like, It was literally on WWE's version of ECW for a while. It's not a huge surprise, And meanwhile, Devon Dudley is a pretty big surprise because he has a name, because he has a major position in this new faction as its first unmasked members, and because all the dirt sheets were saying that he's leaving the company. I just don't see the point in some of these reveals of, lifetime mid-card talent. So, yeah, we're going to keep everybody under a mask for now until it means something. But by that, I'm saying don't expect any huge surprises in this booking because there's just no need for them in a story like this. So, anyway, next week, Viscera gets revealed as the newest member of Aces and Eights.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, he's doing a really good job of pumping this up. I'm like, I feel like Viscera is going to be the punchline of this.
Yeah, that's it. He always is.
But hey, it's a deal. Cross it off your bingo cards.
That's it. You're making kayfabe bingo cards. That's one for Viscera. So, all right. In all seriousness, no Viscera. So next week, Aces and Eights are going to do something big. So they're going to change the show completely because they're going after the top dog. So during this episode of Impact, Aces and Eights are going to take out Hulk Hogan in his locker room. And much like Sting, they're going to absolutely decimate him, with the rest of the TNA roster unable to help because of the numbers of masked men blocking the door. And once Aces and Eights, ordered by Devon of course, are finished with their intention of beating up Hulk Hogan, they just leave. So Hulk's left in a bloody and battered state and in dire need of medical attention. You could say he's had one too many ball peen hammer shots, which by the way is one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just one, basically. Yeah. So, yeah. So this is going to allow Aces and Eights the opportunity to go on a long-term rampage of the TNA roster, very much like they did in real life, except with some actual reasoning behind it, because Hogan's gone, Sting's gone, and Bully Ray, his attention has been taken by Brooke Hogan. So, he's barely thinking about TNA right now because he's in the greatest relationship of his life. Fuck Devon and his gang of crooks. They don't compare to the highs that he is experiencing in life right now. And like I say, this is going to last for a while, for a month, maybe two. Aces and Eights are just going to be the absolute scourge of TNA. They'll be interfering in matches, they'll be beating people up backstage, they'll basically be doing everything they can to screw over the promotion. And they're getting away with it because there's no authority figures to keep them under control, nor are there people on the roster who contend with their kind of vast numbers of hooded men. So the next major event in this story is going to be the wedding of Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan. That's right. Brooke Hogan is going to become the first Mrs. Ray, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mrs. Ray?
No.
Mrs. Dudley.
Yeah, they're still Dudleys. I mean, like the name is trademarked, but that's their surname, so.
Well, they're Team 3D now, so she's Mrs. 3D.
Yeah, but they're from Dudleyville. They're Dudley boys. They are the Dudley boys. They are. Oh, yeah. Okay. So like that's still their name,
Yes. Okay. So Brooke Dudley, Brooke Ray, whatever. So yeah, we're not straying too far from reality here. I'm keeping a few key events, and the wedding's going to be very important. So the wedding happens. One of the main talking points in the wedding is Hulk Hogan, because he returned specifically for the wedding. So it's the first time that anyone's seen him since the Aces and Eights assault, and he's standing there with his walking cane to show that he still hasn't fully recovered. He's making his big return to support his daughter on her wedding day, overshadowing her, just like he's done with everybody he's ever known and loved. And so out comes Bully Ray, dressed in his finest suit. He's got his best man, Tommy Dreamer, there. Taz, of course, Brother Runt, a.k.a. Spike Dudley. Extreme. There he is. And then out comes the blushing bride. And isn't she...
Wait. Is there anybody else there from ECW?
Tommy Dreamer, Taz.
Is nobody else?
Nope, nobody else. No one else that I can think of.
Like Raven wasn't there, for example, was he?
No, not Raven. No.
Nobody associated with Raven was there?
Nobody associated with Raven. Nobody associated with ECW. Nobody who led a faction of very professional people in the WWF.
So no Blue Meanie.
No Blue Meanie. No Nova. No Nova. Ever, no.
Damn. All right. Well, that's fair enough. Anyway. Brooke Hogan comes down to the ring, walks down the aisle, and everything's just fine, and then Stevie Richards couldn't be there today.
Couldn't be. had other plans.
Yeah. Wasn't asked.
Wasn't asked. Yeah. So they do their vows, they say their I do's. It's a lovely moment. It's the first ever making kayfabe wedding, I think. A tear appears underneath the bandana and sunglasses combination that Hulk Hogan is sporting. The crowd start to cheer. It's a truly wholesome moment. Oh my God, it's the first wrestling wedding to have ever gone well in a long time. The entrance music of Aces and Eights plays. And out comes Aces and Eights, led by brother Devon. Bully Ray's face drops, as does Hogan's. Bully Ray immediately ushers Brooke Hogan out of the ring, knowing that this can't be good. And Aces and Eights, all fucking 20 plus of them, walk down to the ring. Devon speaks in the microphone, and he sounds offended. He says that, at his wedding, at Devon's wedding, Bully Ray, he was the best man. Yet how disgusting is it that despite that, Devon doesn't even get an invite to Bully Ray's wedding? What's the deal with that? That's ridiculous.
I can't believe I didn't get an invite to this totally real wedding that just happened to take place on this television show, but otherwise is totally 100% real. And you didn't invite me? And you didn't invite Stevie Richards either, and that really stuck in my craw, mister.
No, Stevie was invited. He just
he's busy. He had shit to do.
Stevie Richards, a very busy man.
He is a busy man, yeah.
He is, yeah. You guessed it. We've got a whole bunch of wrestlers inside the ring. You've got a whole bunch of wrestlers outside the ring. It's brawling time, baby. Don't know why I said
you could have said clobbering time.
It is clobbering time as well, but that insinuates that one person's going to do the clobbering, whereas...
That is true, yes. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So, yeah. I work hard on these scripts, man. I do.
Yeah, and the baby it adds a bit of flavor to it,
Yeah, the baby was improvised. That's just me.
I like
that's
it.
just me being me.
Yeah, well, that is you do that a lot. Yeah.
You know what I'm like, baby. Yeah.
You're just that cool,
Just that cool. Yeah. You have to reach a certain level of cool to use the word baby after most things you say, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't even got there yet.
No, not even close. No.
No, they wouldn't even let me into the cool school.
No, cool school.
Oh boy.
Fucking hell. So Brooke Hogan's in tears on the outside of the ring. Aces and Eights, they bulldoze the wrestlers in the ring. That's your Hogans, that's your Dreamers, your Tazzies, your Spikes, and your Bully Rays, and the Minister. And once again, the numbers are just too much. Aces and Eights are too many. So Aces and Eights stand tall. They exit the ring, leaving the wedding in chaos as Brooke Hogan goes to tend to her husband and her father, and poor little Spike Dudley. While brother Devon leads his gang away, Bully Ray, he grabs the microphone, and he is not happy, dude. Like his wedding has just been ruined by his own brother. His wedding. Yeah. And he says, he'd be pissed off. And he says, Devon, this has gone on long enough. You've been running roughshod all over TNA for months now, but you've only been able to do that because for the most part, I haven't been here to stop you. Quite frankly, I didn't care what you did to TNA. You could have done this for months more if you wanted, but now you made it personal, and that is going to be your downfall, Devon. You ruined our wedding, so I'm going to ruin you. At Genesis this Sunday, it's going to be me versus you, brother versus brother. And then he pauses, but he adds, he says, and they say that blood is thicker than water. Well, I guess we're about to find out for sure, because it's going to be a first blood match.
Oh.
You'll be sorry, Devon, and let me tell you, when there's blood pissing out of your head, it's not going to be forgiveness that you get. It'll be the same cold, hard disdain that I am feeling right now. So there we have it. The next TNA pay-per-view Genesis on January 13th, 2013. It's going to be Bully Ray versus Brother Devon in a first blood match. I don't think there's been a first blood match in a while. The most recent one in a major federation actually was TNA. July 2019, Eddie Edwards defeated Killer Cross in a first blood match. But before that, you'd have to go back to 2008, One Night Stand, where John Cena defeated JBL in a first blood match. So,
wow.
Yeah, long time. Not a very popular match these days, but so for those unaware, it's kind of self-explanatory. The first person to make their opponent bleed wins. So that's it. So anyway, we get to Genesis 2013, and on the show, Hulk Hogan is going to ban Aces and Eights from ringside. So it's a nice, clean, bloody fight. And so the match happens, and Bully Ray is going to defeat Devon. And how that goes down is during the match, Devon is going to bring out that infamous ball-peen hammer, and the plan, of course, is to use it on Bully Ray. So, of course, it's classic wrestling booking. It turns out the babyface is going to be the one to use the weapon. Ha! He smashes Devon in the head with it, draws blood, and wins the match. Hooray for Bully.
I mean, that'll do it. Getting hit with it on the head with a hammer. Yeah, that'll make me bleed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it'd make anyone bleed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now, in the aftermath of the match, starting next week in Impact, a couple of notable things are going to happen. So, firstly, for his contributions in taking care of that thug Devon, Hulk Hogan is going to give Bully Ray the next TNA World Heavyweight title shot. And that's going to happen at the next pay-per-view, Lockdown, March 10th, 2013, against World Champion Jeff Hardy at the Alamo. At high noon.
Oh.
We'll be waiting at the... Did you get that? Did you get the reference?
I thought you were going to say Slamboree.
No, it's fucking... Do you not remember? Oh, fuck, it was... I forgot what it was called. Road Dogg and Billy Gunn in TNA. They were called the...
Oh, the Voodoo King Mafia?
The Voodoo King Mafia. And they came out in an episode of Impact once, kind of wearing like ponchos and sombreros. And they were calling out Paul Levesque and Michael Hickenbottom. Yeah, and they say, we'll be waiting at the Alamo, that kind of thing. Like, we're waiting here for you to show up and fight us.
Okay.
Obviously, Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So they wanted a fight with them, basically. But
as if Triple H doesn't have enough shit to do.
I mean, you might be surprised, but WWE completely ignored them.
Wow.
So Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, they had this video feed going, and they just like, I guess we're not showing up. So they declared victory. That's it.
Well, yeah. Hey, I'm going to be rebooking them next week.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, Dylan will not be doing that next week.
No, we definitely won't be fucking at the Alamo. But
I'll have to watch that.
Oh man, it's great. It's not great, but it's like the way you watch like a B movie.
It's
gonna be shit, but it's hilarious.
It's like your t-shirts are too tight, Billy. like that kind of thing.
Can't even afford to pay me. I don't even know.
I don't know. Super Brawl?
Super Saturday?
That's my favorite bit. He's just like, he goes, Super Brawl? And then he turns and looks at the camera like a confused dog. Yeah. What? It kills me every time. It's a Lex Luger thing, which everybody knows this by now, right? The Lex Luger thing. If you Google, all I do to find it is Google, your t-shirts are too tight, Billy. And then... You'll find the video. It's 4 minutes of wonderful. Good God bless Lex Luger.
It is the greatest promo of all time. I fucking love it, man. Like, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, check out Lex Luger first, and then Road Dogg.
And then the Road Dogg one, yeah.
Because and your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy. Fucking brilliant. Anyway. Now that you've looked that up, anyway, that's going to happen at Lockdown. So, where the fuck were we? So it's going to be Bully Ray versus Jeff Hardy at Lockdown. Sorry, I got sidetracked by fucking Michael Hickenbottom and t-shirts being too tight, Billy, and yeah. So yeah, Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, Lockdown, and you might see where this is going, but hold on, we've got something to add some spice to this story. So, you see, the week after the first blood match, there's going to be just no sign of aces and eights. The same happens for 2 weeks, maybe 3. Basically, TNA is seeming as though it's back to normality, almost. Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, they start their feud for the world title, a classic kind of champion versus challenger feud, where kind of the two guys already have a lot of history with each other. But 1 week, Bully Ray is going to be in his locker room, and he hears a knock on the door. And what do you know? Who else walks in but brother Devon? So Bully Ray immediately gets to his feet, obviously, and he's ready to punch Devon out. But Devon's all like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. Hey, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to talk. We've done the fighting part already. And he points to a big ugly scar on his forehead where Bully Ray hit him with the ball-peen hammer at Genesis. Devon continues, I don't have aces and eights here with me. I'm alone. It's just me and you can I sit down? And Bully Ray doesn't say a word, but he doesn't say no either. So Devon sits down with his brother in the locker room. And the gist of what's being said is that Devon is sorry for breaking up Bully Ray's wedding. It was a truly evil thing to do, and he'll never forgive himself for it, so he doesn't expect Bully to forgive him. But he does adopt a different tone, a reasoning tone, and he tries to slowly, sleekly to bring Bully Ray onto a different way of thinking. He'll try and say that their blood feud is over. He'll say, sometimes brothers fight. Sometimes they need to fight and settle an issue. And boy, was there a big issue to settle. You kicked my ass, you deserve to. That part is over now. And he'll move casually on to talking about TNA, which is, of course, Devon's biggest hatred right now, as per what happened with him and his contract. That's the bigger issue right now, he thinks, and he's willing to kind of try and reason with Bully Ray. TNA are the reason the Aces and Eights are here after all. All of their members have been screwed over by TNA in some fashion. And Devon, he doesn't think Bully Ray is any different, which is why he thinks Bully Ray belongs in Aces and Eights. So Devon's trying to convert Bully Ray again. And to do that, he's going to talk down TNA, saying, Bully, why are you so loyal to TNA? What is this crazy allegiance that you have to the company where you serve its washed-up boss and marry his daughter too? I don't know what's stopping you realizing. TNA has been trying to drive us apart since day one. Yes, us. Team 3D. The old management did it, and now the new management is doing it. As far as TNA the company goes, a leopard never changes its spots. TNA is the enemy, Bully, not Aces and Eights. But Bully, he's got a counterpoint. He says, TNA saved us, Devon. When we left that other company, who was the safety net? And Devon says, but listen, TNA, they didn't save us in good faith. They wanted to cash in on our names, on our history. Once they had squeezed everything they could out of our legendary career, what did they do? They split us up. They didn't even try to keep me on when my contract expired. TNA didn't save anybody, at least not intentionally. They did what was good for business. Yes, we've had our fights. Maybe a split up was destined at some point, but TNA were the catalyst. They're the ones who split us up in the first place, brother. I know of another federation who tried to do that exact same thing back in 2002. And what happens less than a year after they did that? We ended up back together because we're brothers, and that's what brothers do. 30 plus years as a tag team, multiple tag team titles, and that ain't good enough for them to keep us together. Instead, they drive us apart. Are you going to let them do that to us? Don't blame Aces and Eights for changing my mind, Ray, because in my mind, it was changed a long time ago, and I'm sure if you think about it, if you really think about it, so did yours. Look at the bigger picture, Ray. That's all I'm asking. So Devon leaves the room. Bully Ray's speechless. He just stares at the ground. Maybe there is something in what Devon's saying. Uh-oh. We're going to see hints of that every now and then. So Devon's not seen again, Aces and Eights aren't seen again, but they don't need to be because it's looking like the seeds are planted. Because Bully Ray, he starts to express his doubts on TNA. He's distant with Brooke, he's missing Hulk Hogan's calls, brother. But anytime
you
he's
want to come on the boat, brother?
gonna bang some lines, yeah.
Bang some lines.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly what they say. That's what a 60 or 70-year-old man like Hulk Hogan would say. So you nailed it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, anytime he's asked about his current mood, he's just blaming it on being focused on the upcoming title match. He's training hard. He doesn't have time to talk because he wants to beat Jeff Hardy. He wants that TNA World title. And so Brooke, she supports him, playing every part of the loving, supporting wife. She stays close to Bully despite his new focused or defocused attitude because, she loves him. He's her husband. And we get to Lockdown 2013. Aces and Eights nor Devon have been anywhere to be seen for months now. Not since January, and we're now in March. So it's the main event where we've got Bully Ray fighting for Jeff Hardy's TNA World Heavyweight title in the main event inside a big steel cage, just like real life. And you know what? Just like real life, nearing the end of the match, there's going to be a familiar presence at ringside. It's Devon, brother Devon, He's going to slyly slip a ball-peen hammer into the ring, you see, which isn't getting caught by the cameras or Jeff Hardy. He's then going to scale up the cage, distracting Jeff Hardy, and plenty of time for Bully Ray, fucking hell, to pick up that ball-peen hammer and deliver a devastating blow to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy falls to the canvas like a ton of bricks. Bully Ray covers him. 1, 2, 3. It's all over. Bully Ray is now the TNA heavyweight champion. He looks down at Devon, emotionless. Devon looks back, also emotionless. Jeff Hardy, he's receiving urgent medical attention in the ring as Brooke Hogan. She runs down to the ring. She wants to celebrate with her husband because, as it happens, she didn't see the ball-peen hammer shot. All she saw was her husband, Bully Ray, covering Jeff Hardy and winning the world title. So, as far as she's concerned, there was nothing suspicious that she's seen. So, she jumps into the ring and she hugs her husband, congratulating him, tears streaming down her face, the whole thing. But while Brooke is hugging Bully Ray, the cage is being lifted. Devon's looking under the ring apron. Uh-oh. He pulls out a table and he places the table in the middle of the ring. Everybody can see where this is going apart from Brooke Hogan, who has her back turned. She can't hear what's going on because of the loud crowd who are booing like crazy at this stage. Devon sets the table up. He grabs Brooke Hogan as Bully Ray climbs up the second rope, sitting on the top rope. Brooke is screaming as Devon hoists her onto Bully's shoulders in a powerbomb position, and Bully Ray power bombs Brooke Hogan, his wife, through a table, just like old times. And Hulk Hogan, he hobbles out, getting ready to save his daughter from these two absolute bastards, but he's stopped as a circle of Aces and Eights members forms around him. He starts laying in shots to random Aces and Eights members, but the group is just too powerful for him. Too powerful for the 60-year-old man with 2 hip replacements and 2 knee replacements. They beat him up and leave him laying. Poor Brooke is motionless in the ring. Jeff Hardy, the former heavyweight champion, has been stretched out to the back. Bully Ray and Devon look at each other, and then they embrace. Devon grabs the microphone and he announces, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest member of Aces and Eights, your champion, my brother, Bully Ray." And yeah, we're at the end of today's booking, but you can build just so much fucking more from here. So first off, Sting, remember him? Mm-hmm. He's going to come back and extract some revenge in Aces and Eights. Obviously, Hulk Hogan ain't going to be too happy that Team 3D for powerbombing his daughter for a table. He's going to want revenge, and Brooke's going to want a divorce. Or will Brooke, end up joining Aces and Eights too in a sick twist of events? Maybe she's been overly loyal to Bully Ray, or maybe she just wants to see somebody kick his head in after what he did to her. You can go either way with that.
What if Hulk Hogan joins Aces and Eights? He's like, "Hey, nice work on getting rid of my daughter, brother."
Yeah, he's a third man. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like, I never liked her anyway. Nice work, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that maybe you could do that. But
that wouldn't be good.
No, that'd be terrible. But you can really kind of light the fire of Aces and Eights now with Bully Ray involved, because at this stage you haven't revealed all these members that TNA had done by this point. So, by the way, by this point in real life, we knew that Bully Ray, Devon, Doc Gallows, Ken Anderson, Nux, aka Mike Knox, Garrett Bischoff, D'Lo Brown, and Taz were members of Aces and Eights. So that's 8 people already in the time it took to tell the story. In this story, all we know is Bully and Devon. There's so much room to build that mystique, and you can do it for fucking ever. You can slow burn it and only reveal the new members when it actually means something. Right. It also means that half of Aces and Eights don't disappear after Bubba's title win, because even if people do get released, they were masked. So fuck them. No one knew anyway. So, and by the way, just one more thing, him being converted to become anti-TNA makes way more sense than him taking a few shots for the team.
Right.
All the times Aces and Eights beat him up when he was a babyface. There's an actual solid reason behind it now, and Aces and Eights can only build from that. But anyway, that's my rebooking of Aces and Eights.
I like it. One thing I liked, whenever you were near the end, you're like, any of them could be in the mask.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if this was like what if, remember they took out Hogan and Sting? What if Sting did come back, but he was just under the mask in Aces and Eights, right? because then you're like, oh, he's not injured, and then when he takes the mask off, it's like, oh, it turns out he wasn't injured at all. He was just converted into the group. Like there is a storyline you could do.
Yeah.
What you've done, I feel like, is with not revealing all the people, keeping them all under mask and stuff. You've kind of streamlined this storyline to focus on like the main people we need to focus on, which again was part of the problem with Aces and Eights and part of the problem with the NWO is that once you have 18 people, like who gives a shit about number 16, right? It means that some of them are just there to make up numbers, and if some of them are just there to make up numbers, why not put them in masks like you did, like? Because then it doesn't matter. They're just like henchmen, and they're disposable. It doesn't because they're the ones in between, who have the good guys and the Dudley Boys, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you as TNA know that you're going to be releasing D'Lo Brown in 2 months, why would you reveal him as a member of your group? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Luke Gallows as well, things like that. Like they're not going to last long in TNA, so why even bother unmasking them? It doesn't make sense.
But if you put them on their masks and then. If people get really, because you can tell who Luke Gallows is from a mile away, right?
Yes,
he's a big dude. But if you put the mask on him and then a couple of weeks later he's not there, it's just because it seems like it's a rotating group of like heavies, just random people. So like,
people.
Exactly. So that again, adds a bit of mystique and illusion to it. And then whenever you need to add more people to the group, big important guys like Ken Anderson, if you wanted to, or like some of the other. Then if you wanted to try to like. Build up somebody like fucking Garrett Bischoff or Wes Briscoe. If they really had to, you can show one of them and then figure it out, and then just have the other one like on the other side, right? That shit can work, but you need to use the talent you have, such as the Dudley Boys, in a creative way in order to be able to lift up these young people, right? That's part of it, because otherwise they're just random people in a group. And who gives a shit, Yeah. And it's the same with, again, they had all these people, but if the only people doing shit are like the same 3 people, Bully Ray and Mr. Anderson, then, and Devon, then like nobody really gives a shit about the other ones. Dudley. Dudley's. Like with the NWO, like who really give a shit about the stuff that wasn't Hogan, Nash, and Hall, right? And
exactly. Dude,
but like,
fucking exactly. Yeah, exactly. That is the point. Like, who gives a fucking shit about? I hate to say it again, but who gives a shit about McNox? When you've got fucking like Bully Ray running roughshod, like you got fucking Ken Anderson in the group, like big charismatic dudes, and like no one's gonna care what Luke Gallows is doing. That's just how it is.
Because they're not being used in that storyline. Bubba Ray was the heavyweight champion, and Devon was like the Legends champion or some bullshit like that.
Yes, he was television champion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like that means they are 2 of the important people in the storyline, so it makes sense for them to be unmasked because that's the gimmick. But if you keep masks on some of the other ones, then that means whenever the time calls for it, you can unmask them, and then bam, start a new storyline.
Yeah. Exactly.
It sounds so simple.
Yeah.
That you wonder why they didn't think of it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why we're here, my friend. That is why we're here. We're here to rebook wrestling and, make it a little bit more kind of tolerable. And hopefully that storyline did do that. I had a good time writing that one. So
I tell you what else. One real quick point I wanted to say. The Brooke Hogan bit, most people would be like, why'd you put Brooke Hogan in it, right? But I think because you're a smart man, I'm going to constantly putting you over, Bryce. You know this. But like, what are the Dudley Boys well known for? Putting people through tables, especially women, right? Yeah. So what you did was you actually like you built it up because let's be fair, in the Attitude Era, whenever the Dudley Boys would put women through tables, it looked great, but it was also just like here's a woman, here's a table, here's the Dudley Boys, right? There was never a storyline for it. But you've actually, because we know the history of the Dudley Boys. And they have a history of doing this. You see Brooke Hogan there. Once you see the Dudley Boys together, once Devon pulls that table out, like that has actual build to it. There's a reason why her going through the table means something.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a random woman for a random table. Yeah.
If Brooke Hogan just turned up one day for the first time at TNA and then the Dudley Boys put her through a table, nobody. But it would look great. But also nobody would. They'd forget about it 3 weeks later, because you can't tell what episode of Raw this shit happened on. You can't tell me what episode of Raw they put Lita through a table. You have no idea, but you just remember that it happened, right? Yeah. So it could have been one of those things, but instead you like actually had a purpose for it. The way that you're supposed to do Get a proper storyline.
Yeah, wrestling, right?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
This is what we're saying. Just keep it simple and just keep it consistent, and then there you go. You know?
And that's it. Like, it could have been a season 8 story. It could have been good. Like, to TNA's credit, they did a slow burn story, which you don't see often in wrestling these days. Like, especially in like WWE, a storyline will last like fucking 2 weeks. You fucking saw Eva Marie and fucking Doudrop and Raw a couple weeks ago. Like, they're breaking up already. Like,
I couldn't believe that
so,
after like fucking like just turning up. They've already just turned up and they're already splitting them up. I'm like, what on earth?
Exactly. So that's a whole, we could do hours on that, but like that's a whole other thing. But like, it's a slow burn story. The swerve was good by Bully Ray. Bully Ray fucking killed it in real life. But yeah, just kind of unfortunate series of events led to the end of the group. So, which I don't think would have happened if they kept it simple. But you know, that's kind of less is more kind of thing when it comes to storylines like this. So, but anyway, should we you know? And by the way, like, another thing as well, I know I've done a Dudley booking this season already, but I don't think I could write 8 season 8s without kind of 2 integral parts of the story. So this is a double Dudley season for me. But anyway, so fucking like that was good fun. So
that was.
You want to play a little game of Kayfabe Tombola, my friend?
I think that's perfect. That's a great idea.
All right. Let's play Kayfabe Tombola, baby.
See, you're doing it with the babies again. You're so confident. So cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's exude coolness, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what they say.
Kayfabe Tombola, the game where one of the Making Kayfabe posts talks complete shite for 60 seconds, but the people love it. But before we do go into Kayfabe Tombola, if you enjoyed the season 8 story, want a good way to say cheers, well, getting yourself some more Making Kayfabe in the process, we do have a Patreon page. If you sign up at patreon.com/making kayfabe for as low as £5, you'll get access to 6 unique, original and exclusive rebookings that only patrons get. And hey, you'll be one of the reasons that Dylan and I can actually afford to do this show. So, you know, we put this on for free, folks. We fucking love doing it, but there sure is running costs, let me tell you. So, you know, if you're in a position to do so, then you can totally join us over at patreon.com/making kayfabe. We'd love to see you there at patreon.com/making kayfabe. Anyway, damn, woo, damn, baby. Anyway, Kayfabe fucking Tombola. Every week, one of our listeners submits 4 wrestlers, randomly numbered 1 to 4, and 4 scenarios, randomly lettered A to D. Dylan here is going to give me a number letter combination like a 4A or a 2D, and then he'll have 60 seconds to spin the best storyline ever with the assigned scenario. Today's Kayfabe Tombola submission comes from our dude, Tom Williams, at Tom Williams 1990 on Twitters. Tom has been one of our listeners for a very long time, and by all rights, he's a very badass guy. So cheers, Tom. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Dylan, can you give me your finest number letter combination?
Yes, I can. I'm gonna go with the classic Shakespeare, the 2B.
The 2B or not to be?
Yeah.
But it is 2B.
Oh, it's 2B. Yeah. But not 2B, if you get me.
But that's the question.
4A. No, but seriously though, 2B.
2B. Okay, you can get to. So 2B, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good because the letter definitely matters here. I promise you. So yeah, I wouldn't lie to you, Dylan. Fucking hell.
No, you've never lied to me, not once.
Not once. Not about keeping your singing part in the show earlier on.
No, not about having access to my bank account details. You were very up clear. I mean, you seem legit. So here you go.
Yes, exactly. I'm trustworthy. Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
So do I know who you could have had?
Yes, please.
You could have had Viscera.
Oh.
You didn't get him.
Oh, what a shame.
You could have had Gangrel.
Oh, hello.
You didn't get him. You could have had Vince McMahon.
Oh.
You didn't get him. You know who did get?
Tell me.
You got The Undertaker.
Wow.
So
quite a collection of wrestlers right there.
Yeah, some of the best. Yeah.
And Vince McMahon.
And Undertaker.
Well, we say that, but then Vince McMahon, former ECW champion.
Fucking former ECW champion.
King of the Ring. He won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he won the Royal Rumble. Like, legit is in one of my favourite matches of all time. So, you know, he's something of a wrestler.
He's clearly better than Viscera.
Yeah. No. Oh, wait a minute. Fucking slow down there, Down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves
I
here.
don't see Viscera winning.
Let's
Viscera
not
tried to win.
Let's not be unreasonable here. Yeah.
Viscera tried to win the ECW championship. He couldn't do it. Vince McMahon, no problem.
We'll discuss this later.
Yes, I'm sure he's gonna. Bryce is gonna beat me after the show. Like, don't ever badmouth the Viscera.
Fucking do that.
I'll kill you.
All right, so you picked 2B.
Okay.
You could have had The Undertaker is tasked with creating a team of Power Rangers.
What?
You didn't get that.
All right.
You could have had The Undertaker is tasked with creating a team of Power Rangers.
Oh no.
You could have. You see where this is going, right?
This isn't fair. This isn't a real Tombola. No.
Tom did say, like, if you wanted me to change it up, then he totally could. But he really wants to hear, about Power Rangers. So
Well, some people really love Power Rangers, and I would hate to disappoint them. So why don't you tell me the third thing I didn't get?
What you didn't get is tasked with creating a team of Power Rangers.
Okay, so what did I get?
Well, what you did get is actually going to be a surprise to you, man, because this is one I don't think you're going to see coming. But
okay,
you actually got The Undertaker.
Yes.
Is tasked with creating a team. Of.
Yes. You can't think of something else, can you?
Your mind just goes totally fucking blank. Right?
Yes.
I've got to think of something funny. Right?
That has happened to me so many times in the show where it's like an open goal. I'm like, all I have to do is just kick the ball, and then your whole
anything else,
yeah, and your whole mind goes blank. You're like, oh no, this is the worst possible time this could have happened. So the Undertaker makes his own team of Power Rangers. Yes. So he's Zordon.
Yes, he's Zordon. Exactly.
Yeah. I know all the Power Rangers lingo.
Yeah, there you go. More than He-Man, right?
Don't even get me started on He-Man. Who was your favorite? What was your favorite series of Power Rangers?
Oh, dude, I wasn't a Power Rangers kid. I wasn't.
Oh, cool. Don't worry about it then.
You can just make anything up now. Like, I know it's Zordon.
Exactly. I'm like, well then, Clippity Corpse, all the aliens come over, and then I can just.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, thank you for not knowing anything about Power Rangers, Bryce. You have made this.
Oh. Tom was telling me about he went to an indie show in the early 2000s, and like the main babyface was a guy in a Power Rangers costume, and like Tom's like he says he's a massive Power Rangers fan, and he was chanting Power Rangers shit at him, which pissed the guy off apparently, but he couldn't show it because he's a babyface. So I wish I was at that show.
I don't want to. If this guy's a big Power Rangers fan, I don't want to disappoint him too much. But
I mean,
you know what? Fuck it. I've disappointed everybody else with their suggestions, so I may as well disappoint this guy.
Why not just continue the trend? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just continue to disappoint people. It's what I'm good at, Bryce. You know this.
You've been doing it for years. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not just in making kayfabe, but
oh God, no! I've been doing this for free for fucking. Well, it's still free, I suppose. So never mind. The show is free.
Anyway, fuck it. So 60 seconds, Dylan. Can you tell me all about how The Undertaker is being tasked with creating a team of Power Rangers?
Yes.
All right. Well, I've got 1 minute on the clock, so I'm going to count you down in 3, 2, 1. Power that Ranger, baby.
All right, so obviously everybody knows Undertaker's got his urn with Paul Bearer holds, and CM Punk once kept in his fridge. People are like, what's in the urn? It's got smoky stuff in it. And Undertaker's like, I'll never tell. But one day he does tell. He's like, I need to make Power Rangers. So in the urn is like the little Power Ranger stones that turn. You have to put the stones into the belt buckle, and that's what makes you into a Power Ranger, right? So they're in his urn, and then he's like, I need to make Power Rangers, and we need to put these stones into the belts, aka the resting belts, and then that way, whoever the champions are, I'll give them the stones, and put them in the belts, then they become my mighty Power Rangers, but I gotta make sure they're worthy of such an existence. So I'll test him. So he picks Kian as one of the Power Rangers, because I don't have to test Kian, he tried to kill me, he's obviously pretty good. And then he gives one of them to, we need a girl, he gives one of them to Michelle McCool, because he's like, you know what, kid, I think you got the goods. I think you're a pretty good wrestler, and that's the only reason I'm giving you this. So here you go. And he gives Michelle McCool one of the stones. And then, and when he give away 2 of the stones. And as Bryce knows, there are only 2 Power Rangers, and therefore I have completed the task.
Even I know there's more than 2 Power Rangers.
God damn it!
Because they're all different colors, right? They're fucking black and pink and green.
Kian's the red one.
Right. Okay. And Michelle Cool's the pink one, I imagine.
She's the pink one because she's the girl.
Who's green?
Green one is RVD.
Right. Because he's.
Yeah. There we go. Got it. Black one's Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods, right? Okay.
Because he loves Power Rangers.
Yeah.
He actually has cosplayed as the Black Ranger. I'm 100% sure of it. Yeah.
Oh wow, nice. That's cool.
And then
color?
Yellow.
Yellow. Who's yellow?
Who is the yellow? Well, the yellow was a girl in the TV show. So do we need another girl? I guess we need another girl. Michelle McCool again.
Yeah. She's 2 Power Rangers.
She's so good that she gets 2 of them. Because I don't remember how many women's belts there were at whatever time period this takes place in, so we'll just give Michelle McCool 2 Power Stones. Weird the Undertaker would give Michelle McCool 2 of those Power Stones. She must really like her. I don't know what's up there.
I don't know. There's something going on there. Yeah, I like how you're like Undertaker is like I'll never tell what's in my urn, and then the next sentence is like, so one day he tells.
I don't know why.
Such build.
Right, if I didn't say that, I could have had more time to talk about Michelle McCool.
That's true.
But hey, we got there. I think we did some justice.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I enjoyed that actually. Yeah, I'm sure Tom will appreciate that. Yeah.
You know.
Tom Moyes, thanks for that, man. You're
you.
up, dude, and thanks for listening. If you want to submit your Kayfabe tombolas, please do. We're running low. We need a few more to end off the season, so if you want your tombola featured in this season, get in touch ASAP on @MakingKayfabe on Twitter or Instagram, or email us at makingkayfabe@gmail.com. All right, that was season 4, episode 9 of Making Kayfabe. That's us got our first ever TNA booking out the way, and I enjoyed that hugely. This was really fun to write, and you know what? You listening, you right there sitting at work or on the bus or on the train or making food, I don't know. We appreciate you, bro. We really appreciate you for checking out our stuff. It's honestly our pleasure bringing you these shows. Thank you for listening big time. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Making Kayfabe. And once again, we're on Patreon at patreon.com/Making Kayfabe, where you can get fucking hours and hours of exclusive Making Kayfabe content for the price of a pint. If that's not your jam, please leave us a cheeky 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. More reviews means more listeners, means more people checking out our show, meaning more chance of us meeting our dream of world domination. Dylan's back with the 10th episode of season 4 next week, and fucking hell, season 4 is almost over. Jesus, 3 episodes to go after this.
That's wild, isn't it? You're talking about the season, like we were on episode 9. I'm like, oh my goodness, we're flying through it.
Yeah, flying through it. Time flies, really does. Speaking of the next episode, have you got any teases next week for the lovely listeners of the show? Who we might be talking about next week?
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but next week, my friend, gonna keep a lot of things kind of, close to my chest, under my jacket. But let's just say, I'm a real. I'm a man with a plan. Let's put it that way.
This could be the biggest Making Kayfabe episode ever.
It could be.
All right, so think of that what you will, folks. We'll get a little game up on the Twitter on Wednesday and Tuesday night even, so so you can get your guesses in. But
I think you're going to be able to guess it.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely not a zombie episode where you'll never guess.
It's a zombie Miz again.
Yeah, swerve.
Because what does he do after that? He has to keep, what's he going to do in 2025? Well, I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's part 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it, folks.
Yeah.
That's it. Aces and eights could have been great. We'll see you all next week for another episode of Making Kayfabe. Take care, go straight to fucking Mars, and always be kayfabe, my dudes.
Goodbye.
Baby.
Bam. He got one more baby in there. See that?
So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.